Hello, beautiful souls. This is Anna from Love Light Heal Therapies. Welcome to my video. Today, I would like to take you on a journey, my journey. I would like to let you know a little bit about myself, how I became a healer, and how and why I created Love Light Heal Therapies. So let's begin. As far back as I can remember, my path began when I was 8 years old. I had this strange, vivid dream. I was walking through what looked like a Middle Eastern bazaar, and I saw this dog on a piece of furniture. I walked past the dog, and he called out. I turned around, and I looked at the dog, and I said, "You're my dog. But you're not my dog. You're dead." And the dog said, "Yes, I'm dead." And I said, I remember in my dream, I actually said, "Okay." So, and I kept on walking without a care in the world. The following day, I actually told my family about the dream. No one paid attention. But 2 weeks later, when we were on our way home, my dad actually said that my dog had died. Well, unlike the dream, I didn't say just okay. I actually cried a lot. So this was what I believe to be my first prophetic dream. Maybe there were others, but quite frankly, I cannot remember. You may wonder, but do I remember if I used to speak with spirits or if I had an imaginary friend? And my answer is I don't remember. This is when I started having premonitions, dreams that were going to happen. And after this dream, I started having more. Not as dramatic as the first one, more mundane, more about the daily life, but nonetheless, dreams that were talking about the future. When I was 14, I was warned about a boy. In my dream, I leaned in to kiss him, and he said coldly, "You stink." I felt horrible. In my dream, obviously. But in my waking state, I always had this dream in the back of my mind. So we were good friends, but when he wanted more than just a friendship, I actually rejected him, partly because of this dream, partly because I come from a very dysfunctional family and I already had so many problems with my family. I didn't want more drama, this time caused by a new relationship that I didn't know what would bring. So I rejected him over and over and over until university. So I was in university, I didn't adapt, and I felt very, very lonely, and I was also struggling. So I turned to him, and what happened this time was that he leaned in to kiss me. And though I allowed it, he rejected me a week later. So the dream actually happened, but on reverse roles. And what happened after this dream? So I was around 19, I think. I think I was 19. I just said, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to have this kind of dreams anymore. I don't want to predict anything. So naturally, I blocked my abilities to have prophetic dreams. However, our guides, they are sneaky. So if they didn't contact me while I was asleep, they found another way to contact me. As I mentioned, university was hostile for me. I didn't adapt at all. So one day I was walking through university, I was moving from one classroom to another, and I heard this voice in my head as clear as I could hear anyone. And the message was very simple: drop out. And I thought, this must be my ego. At the time, I was already studying Buddhism because I, I am, though I do not identify with any religion, I do take a lot of on board about Buddhism because it resonates with me. So I thought, this must be my ego because I wanted very, very much to drop out. I wanted very, very much to quit and to start all over again, to actually apply to another university, apply to another course. So I thought, this must be my ego. So instead of dropping out, I actually studied even harder. And in the end, I graduated in architecture. I do not identify as an architect, not at all. I only say I have a degree in architecture. But the main thing about this part of the story is that it wasn't my ego talking. This was the voice of my guides. They were actually telling me and warning me, it's time for you to leave this place, this toxic environment, which is not for you. And I didn't listen. Since I was 14, I realized that the problem in my family wasn't me, it was mostly my family in general. I was this sounds this sounds so wrong to say it like that, but I consider myself to be the sane one and everyone else absolutely crazy, insane. Um, the way they see me is I'm the problem, I'm the difficult one, I'm the one always bringing up issues that we shouldn't talk about, like they are taboo. So my relationship with my family is a little bit complicated to say the least. So when I was 14, I decided I'm not crazy, they are. And that's when I made a decision: as soon as I can, I'm going to leave this country. I'm going to move away. I don't care where, as long as I am not here. So 2005 comes along, and I finally packed my bags and moved to London. And it was the first time I actually felt free. I was free from a lot of things. I was free from drama that didn't belong to me. I was free to do whatever I wanted without having other people telling me, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do that, you shouldn't talk like this, you should talk like that. So, for anyone who was born in a toxic and dysfunctional environment, you're going to understand when I say, for me, London felt like I could breathe. This is the best I can do to show you what it meant for me to move to United Kingdom. It was not holding my breath anymore. I could just breathe freely. So, what happened when I moved to London? Um, 2 months and a half later, my grandmother died, and I was so angry. I was so angry because I was very close to my father, and he was suffering a lot without her. So I thought, this is not fair. Why is this happening now? This shouldn't be happening now. One day I was sleeping. I wasn't really sleeping. It was half awake. I was half awake and half asleep when I this anger came to the surface again. And I kept asking, why? Why now? Why is this happening? Why did she have to go when I'm so far away? And I heard a voice, and this voice said, everything is the way it's supposed to be. Everything is all right. And that that just made me feel so good about the whole situation. It was like, yeah, everything is the way it's supposed to be. Everything is all right. And that was when I realized that I was hearing my guides, and it was a turning point in my path, because I started having prophetic dreams again.